Slow. All out. Oh no, and you see my lifestyle, I got G's in the double. For sure. See many people there outside where they feed man's oboe.
And we back, and as promised, I tell you today's show is an amazing one. I have a partner that I can call this mama brethren. I have a brethren on set. He goes by the name of Johann Chuckaree. Don't ask me to spell it. That's always be a problem. When you say spell it, oh God, don't do me that. It's somebody.
Is it Jaiga? You good?
Cool.
Good to be here, man. Good
listen,
to be here.
Johann is the dude that really and truly, if you're talking about bridging the gap, he was the first man that came on the scene that made younger people interested in pan. And I'm not saying it because he's in front of me. He's somebody, I've done many little stints with him. We did commercials together, been on shows where he's the guest panelist and I hosting something. And I've seen him for years across the board. There's so many things I still don't know about him. And today I want to take the opportunity to ask a very cliche question. I know you've been playing since you're young. But when you really discover, because if you're being fair, East Indian, jumping in the pan, and not just jumping in the pan to play do re mi fa solo, but jumping in the pan to play pan. What age you decided? How was that conversation with the family that I just want to jam the pan in?
Jaiga, here is the scene, right? I'm from Woodbrook, right? Damian Street to be exact. So we ride there. I grew up with Phase 2 Pan Groove in my head since I'm a little boy. My parents weren't musical. My mom sings a little bit in church in the choir, that kind of thing. But my parents weren't musical. They say they play an instrument at all. But they were always wanting to encourage their children to play music.
Nice.
So from an early age, my two sisters, Christine, who lives in the States, and Johanna, who is now the piano girl, Johanna.
She's the superstar.
Right? She's the superstar.
That's the
superstar. That's the superstar. I will give her that name. She will like that.
Nah, well, listen, she, not mean to cut you, but she has forged a space for herself when you have the opportunity to jam with your sister, you make it a life, you know.
True. Very
I'm
true.
being honest, when you jam with your sister, you make it.
I must tell you, she said I started singing too.
Yeah.
But anyway, from an early age, both of them started playing piano, right? And I came along quite a bit after. There's an 8-year age gap between me and Johanna.
Right.
And, you know, so I was a young guy. I was about 4 or 5 years old. They were in secondary school in St. Joseph's Convent, Port of Spain. I started to play piano from the age of 4. So I actually play piano as well. I play classical piano, and then I play keyboard up to now. I still play keyboard in church and thing on a weekend.
Okay.
Right? So they had a pan in the house because St. Joseph's Convent, Port of Spain was jamming a panorama, a junior band panorama. And Anthony Prospect, who used to conduct the police band back in the day, was conducting them. So it was a big thing. They had a pan in the house because he was practicing, and I just kind of pick it up and I started to play. So I say, well, if they could do it, why I can't do it too? Right. And believe it or not, it's Christine and Johanna who taught me how to play pan.
Wow.
At the age of, I'd say between 4 and 5 years old.
Nice.
I started to play pan in church around the age of 8. And around 12, 13, my dad was really supportive of me all the time. Even, you know, Phase 2 back then, in the early 90s.
Wasn't the Phase 2 of now.
Wasn't the Phase 2 of now. You know, it had a little bit of a stigma to it, right? But we were never like that. We were Woodbrook people. So my dad used to take me in the pan. Them fellas in the pan, they'd remember me riding my bike, riding tricycle. Yeah. In my diapers, riding tricycle down in the pan. Yeah. That's to tell you the kind of relationship we had there because of where we lived and the people around us. So at the age of 12, 13, he said, well, boy, always come in the pan. I had to listen to music. You ain't want to play? I said, well, I was a little intimidated because, you know, it's a set of big old men. At that point in time, we didn't have a lot of kids in the band. And I went there in 2003. And something magical happened. I just fall in there and it worked. You know, I had a lot of supportive people in the pan side. We had Dr. Len Bugsy Sharp, who's always supportive of me. Up to now, he's still supportive of me. He's like my mentor, my musical mentor.
How was that relationship when you realize that? Because if we're talking pan, we ain't talking Winston Spree, we ain't going so far. But if you're talking pan in the now and names that have to be mentioned,
you're talking Len Bugsy Sharp, you're talking Ray Holman, you're talking Duvon Stewart, you're talking Jed Samaru, you're talking Smooth from All Stars, you're talking Pelham Goddard. That's the fellas you're talking about.
So when was that for
Sorry,
you?
you're talking Duvon Stewart as well. I can't leave out Duvon.
Yeah, Duvon. Yeah. But how was that feeling for you when you were in the presence of the great?
Well, start, you see, because I've been there for many years, he come like another person that I knew.
Right.
You know, it's only after a while, to be honest, when you get older and you start to see, wait a minute, this man is really a musical genius. When you start to see some of the things that he's doing, you start to see the way he arranging music. This man is stand up in front of the band and make up a whole arrangement, a whole new piece of the song in his head and call out notes and then tap out the rhythm and say, oh, they play that. Nowhere else in the world have I ever seen that. Traveling internationally, playing pan, dealing with composers, dealing with musicians, dealing with orchestras. Nowhere else in the world you will ever see a man arrange a part and he multi-tracking in his head, you know. He had tenor, double seconds, guitar, 4-pan, cello, tenor bass, 7 bass, 9 bass. He had a whole stack in his head. And he will call out a chord. And you don't know where it is he going. And when the whole band started to play the section of the chord, you're like, wait, where does this come out from?
Wow.
So I tell you, it's really, as a child there, 13, 14 years old, you didn't understand what you was doing. You was playing it. You was there, you was taking it in, you were performing. I became the tenor section leader at the age of 14 years old.
Wow.
Right? And so you're in it, but it's only when you really take a step back, you realize, I'm in the presence of greatness, you know. Okay.
So your journey in the pan thing started from a tender age,
Yeah.
coming up. So I'd rather ask you, played panoramas,
Let me
complex.
see, 20, 21, at least 20 or 21 panoramas in total, of which we had wins in 2005, 2006, 2008, 2013, 2014. So 5 wins, plenty second places.
So you've been the winning side 5 times. You
Yeah.
know what it. So you
I know what
it
it
is to
feels
win.
like. I know
You
what it is to
feels
win.
like to win.
I know
You
what it feels like to lose to.
Right, and you know what it is. What a flawless performance sounds like.
Correct. I know what it feels like to go on stage, and at the end of the performance, know we win.
Right.
And if we didn't win, that's okay. Even if we lose by a point or a half a point. You know, sometimes banders lose by 2 points, half a point. Even if you lose by half a point, in your heart, you know, hey, we win.
Right. So when did you decide to listen? Let me take this pan and let Johann do Johann.
Well, boy, you know, to be honest with you, Jaiga, it is multiple opportunities and plenty different people set me on that path. When I was 13 and started playing Phase 2, I think the year after, somebody called me and said, hey, you do performances. And I really wasn't taking it on. I was in school. I was in Fatima at the point in time, in Form 2 or Form 3. And I said, well, I will come and do what you all want. They just want me to play the national anthem. I remember my first paid gig was doing the national anthem for some ministry event in Hilton back in 2003.
You real national anthem in your life.
Plenty, Jaiga, plenty.
Because I see you play a couple of them.
Plenty.
I see them in media function. And it's you that is draw for in the corner.
I play plenty. But I think that's where it
You
started.
make mistake playing the national anthem.
Boy, it happened once. It happened when it was on a live broadcast when I was about 14 years old. Live broadcast,
At
TV,
14
radio.
you get a pass. But no, they
No. At all. That can't happen now. That was the one and only time. That was the one and
Nobody
only
taking no
time.
mistake.
No.
Nobody taking that. They're not giving you for damn slips. You have no.
Yeah,
they
you have no
room.
excuse. You have no excuse for them slips. But that's where it started, you know. And after that, I was blessed to have many different opportunities, especially with Phase 2 Pan Groove around 2006 when we won Panorama. We went to World Cup in Germany with the cultural contingent. And, you know, that opened my eyes to a whole different sphere of performing. That cultural contingent was Phase 2. It was Roy Cape All-Stars back at the point in time with Blacks and Showing, Winchester and Rita Jones. And that was our big squad, you know. And to be a part of that and to have soca artists performing with the bands. Amazing experience. And from there, it just kind of took off. I started to do studio work in 2007. I produced my own album, A Sweet Touch of Christmas, my first Christmas album when I was 17, 18 years old in 2007. And yeah, it was just performances coming in from there.
So could you take me back to a time or take us back to a time that there was a particular show hired for or a particular performance that you felt as though was your moment?
I don't think I have that compelling moment that was a turning point at all. You know, I think to me the opportunities that I had, all of them in some small way paved the way. Right. You know, there was no one gig that say, hey, this is what it's going to be.
No, I don't mean it in that aspect. I'm talking about one that when you got called for it, you get, you know, it's always have one of those shows that you're excited for. It's like, oh wow, I actually going and get this.
Well, let me see, but it had so many of those, Jaiga. It had I think I started doing work with Marshall Montano when he did Magic Drum in 2009 with Phase 2. And he had Boy Boy and the Magic Drum, and we started being in studio with Kitch, with Colonel and Marshall and that kind of thing. And I think I did the first Marshall Monday I performed was in 2012 or 2013, and that was a nice upliftment. You go and you perform on stages, a big crowd. I also did work with Dilly Nadan as well.
Right.
And so it's a whole different environment for me because even though I'm East Indian and we talk about that already, chutney is really not my thing. I'm an East Indian from Woodbrook, who's play pan. I'm a Roman Catholic. Yes, I have family who are Hindu and who are Muslim.
Right.
But I'm not growing up in that, you know. So getting thrown into the chutney sector was a new dimension for me, you know. So it taught me a lot of things that I didn't know. I didn't know a lot of them chutney songs. I didn't know a lot of what was going on in the chutney world. So, you know, having that opportunity to do was something amazing.
All right, guys, don't go nowhere. I have some more questions I want to ask you when we get back. Keep it locked. This is Tonight on M&ETV. Come on.
Just one day, happiness. If I broke, now my